Okay, let's get started. Hey horror freaks, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is the first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification every single time that I post a video, and I post every single week. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be a list of 13 horror movies that are based or take place during Halloween night. Now, it took me a while to do this list because although the most obvious choice is the whole Halloween franchise, I wanted to go beyond that. Like, of course, I will be talking about some of the Halloween franchise movies, but I wanted to include others that actually take place during Halloween night, since, of course, we are on a spooky season and maybe you were looking for this type of films. And in my case, I was actually looking for them. Like, I was really interested in to see how many films are actually taking place during Halloween night. Some of these films are going to be pretty obvious. Even the title like kind of said it, but some others maybe could be a surprise to you, or maybe you didn't even knew about these films, and this one of the reasons why I do this, so to help you find new movies to watch. So giving that little talk and kind of disclaimer, let's get into the video. In case that you forgot about some of these films, you can check either on my Letterboxd profile or on my website. I'm going to be leaving both links down below. Now, the first film, of course, it's Halloween of 1978. This is the ultimate classic Halloween movie. It follows Laurie Strode being chased and stalked by Michael Myers. It's an ultimate horror classic, so of course it had to be on the list. So it has to be the number one. But following on the Halloween franchise, I'm going to put Halloween age 20 or 20 years later. This one, just like the title says, it's more of a celebration of the 20 years anniversary of the release of Halloween of 1978. But the story as a whole, it's Laurie Strode now living in a whole other state. She has a son, but Michael returns to her life once again. I really like this sequel. It's, in my opinion, one of the best sequels of the franchise. One of my favorites. Although The Mask, we know that we can all agree that it's not good, but still it's one of my favorites. And to complete this Halloween franchise, the third one that I'm going to be mentioning, it's Halloween from 2018. This one I vividly remember when it was announced. I was so skeptical and I was even pissed. I remember posting on my personal Facebook a post that was sharing the news that this Halloween trilogy was coming up, and I was like, why the hell they're going to do this? This is going to be shit, blah blah blah. I was wrong. I remember that I watched the film and I was like, oh, so I was wrong. But there's nothing wrong with that. So of course this one is 40 years later and Michael Myers once again escapes and he returns to haunt Laurie Strode. The story is repeating itself, but of course with different elements, different characters, and in my opinion it's a really good one. And we're having the conclusion of this trilogy on October 14 with Halloween Ends. Don't want to miss that. Definitely it's going to be a hell of a ride. So that one is going to be released on both theaters and also on Peacock TV. Now, following up with the fourth movie on the list is the animated horror film Monster House. These are three kids that are so intrigued by their neighbor's house because suddenly the house looks alive and no one can get near to it because first of the owner, but now that the owner is dead, the house it's alive. This is a beautiful story. I think that is pretty good. It has a little bit of comedy. It's made mostly for kids, but me as an adult, I do really enjoy it. I think that maybe mostly because I used to watch it a lot when I was little, but maybe you have little ones at home and you want to share your passion with horror with them. A great way to start it's with animated horror films. It's how I kind of started. Of course, I watched it. Friday the 13th was my first film when I was 5, but I also watched Monster House, Corpse Bride, and those type of films like animated horror. It's the best choice. Seriously, it's going to be such a good trick. Next, we have the anthology horror movie Trick or Treat. This one, it's a bunch of stories that they ultimately collide all together to create a full circle. I was really impressed the first time I saw this film. I wasn't expecting it to be that good. Seriously, this is a classic for me to watch. Of course, I watched it horror all year long, but during Halloween and like spooky season in October, this is a must watch. Like it's so good because each story, like you may be thinking, oh, they didn't connect to each other, like what's the point of this, what's the point of that, but at the end, like I said, everything comes in a full circle and it's like brilliant. And also it's super cute. The antagonist, I don't want to call him the villain, that is Sam, but he's not a villain, he's just like the main aspect and face of the film, but he's not a villain. He's a cool kid. Next, we have another anthology horror film that it's Tales of Halloween. Of course, the title says it all. Of course, also takes place during Halloween night. This one, of course, it's way more for adults. I think that Trick or Treat is safe for maybe teenagers or kids to watch a little bit, maybe depending on the kid. Like I could have watched it when I was little, I watched it a while later, but maybe for teenagers, that type of stuff, it's safe. I think that Tales for Halloween, it's a little bit more for adults. Like I just know it's just like the vibes of the film, but it's really good. Once again, I was really surprised with this film when I watched it. I wasn't expecting it to be this good. Like I said, like when films are from the 2000s, sometimes we tend to judge and we don't think that they're going to be good, but we can have more than one surprise, and this one was one of them. This one is actually from 2015, which is a hard time for horror. In this particular time, we weren't having that much of good horror movies, so you can blame me for thinking that the majority of the horror films that were coming out were going to be bad even before watching them. Next, we have All Hallows Eve. This is another anthology horror movie. This one is the one that introduces Art the Clown. That is the one that we have seen in Terrifier. This one is not as good as Terrifier. It's the first time that we see Art the Clown, but I think that is a must watch. And following on the list, we have the part 2, but that one sadly does not have Art the Clown, but still I think that it's fun to watch, although I prefer All Hallows Eve because the second one, I don't know, it's not bad, but it's not the best one either. So I can live without watching it. And of course, on the list is Terrifier 1 and of course Terrifier 2 that is coming this month. Specifically on October 6th is coming to movie theaters and it looks really good. It has really good reviews. The first one is good. Like it's a B horror film, but it's so good. And I can't wait to see the second one. Sadly, I won't be able to watch it in a long time since where I live, it's not coming. And also, I am right now as you're watching this. This is pre-recorded. I am on a trip, so even if it was in theaters, I wasn't going to be able to watch it until it hits any type of streaming service. But it looks really good, so I can't wait to watch it. Now returning to the kids and the little ones on their house, or maybe your internal child, it's Hocus Pocus. I think that this one is an ultimate Halloween classic, and also I'm going to put it on the list, Hocus Pocus 2. The sequel got released on September 30. Both of them are available on Disney Plus. And I think that this one, although for some people may be silly and not a biggest fan, and there's even people that do not consider Hocus Pocus horror, I do. I definitely think that although it's made for kids and it's family friendly, does not mean that it's not considered horror. And I love the Sanderson sisters. Like I said, for me, this is an ultimate Halloween classic. And to complete the list, we have 31. This is a film by Rob Zombie. This one, it's in Rob Zombie style. So if you're not a fan of him, maybe you will not like this. Or maybe you will, I don't know. I think that it deserves the chance to just give it a little try. Basically, this is about 5 carnival workers that are keeping hostage until Halloween night. I wouldn't call it fun. Like it's not fun, but I think that it deserves the watch. Although it has kind of has bad reviews, but like I said, I think that it deserves the chance because we don't know. Sometimes people can give bad reviews, but maybe you will find it good, or maybe you will like it. So this is why I sometimes see that things have bad reviews, but I still decide to watch them just to give it a little try. Like if it catches my attention, although it has bad reviews, at least I'm gonna give it a try, and then I'm going to see if it was a waste of time or not. And well, with that, we conclude the list. I know that it was kind of quick, but The reality is that I didn't want it to like talk over and over the same thing. It's also a pretty short list, but I hope that you enjoy it and maybe you will find a new horror film to enjoy during Halloween season. And like I said, if you want to recheck the list, you can go to my Letterboxd profile or the list that I'm going to be putting on my website. The link is down below. And well, let me know which is your favorite film that takes place during Halloween. Mine definitely is Trick or Treat. I love that film, although of course I love Halloween franchise, but aside from the obvious, has to be Trick or Treat. But well, thank you guys for watching, and I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Bye.